showed me from like a little kid, 5, 6, 7. I remember one time I was about 14. He showed me the papers that the money that he was paying a year for one of my sisters. It was like $84,000. It was something crazy. This was back in like, I don't know, 2010, right? 80, almost 100 grand, almost $90,000 she's paying. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of money. I've never even seen that many zeros on a page before. So I don't want to have a kid. Now, if I would have just had my mom in the house, maybe it would have been completely different. I would have been a weenie. But my dad told me and showed me, he's like, don't make the mistakes that I have made. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Find Your Formula Reacts. Now, today we got something hot off the press here. It says one black radical versus 20 conservatives featuring Amanda Seales. Now, if you got to know anything about Amanda Seales, she was absolutely bodied by Abba and Preach a couple years ago and has kind of just faded off into the distance ever since. But it looks like she is apparently back with absolute shenanigans. And if they're going to shenan once, they're going to shenan again. So without any further ado, let's get into the video.
Black culture is toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no fathers in the black home. Let's talk about that.
Stop.
Who do
You're
we vote
talking
for?
to a radical, not a Democrat. The radical mind state simply is living opposite to our colonizers, which is an imperialist, capitalist mind state.
Wow.
And radical black.
I can already tell I'm not going to make it through. Obviously, I'm not going to make it through this whole video, but I can already tell she is not prepared to debate at all. She's making complete emotional arguments. I already kind of know how this is going to go, right? Here's my prediction. Someone's going to bring up a very good point with facts, and instead of disputing their point with facts, she's going to be accusatory. She's going to say that this person is an Uncle Tom, which actually isn't even a bad person, but that's a whole nother conversation. She's going to say this person's a this or a that, all the other terms that they give black people who don't agree with their way of thinking. She says that a radicalist mindset is just someone who thinks opposite of their oppressors. If you look up the word radical, that's not what it means at all. You know what I'm saying? That's not the definition of radical by any stretch of the imagination. So I can already kind of tell how this is going to go. But I do want to get into the certain points that they're talking about and kind of give my input as we go on. But this is going to be tough for me to get through. I can already tell.
Do not believe that is any way for us to have liberation. Well, here's
So
what
when
you all keep doing.
No,
You
just
keep interrupting me when I'm talking, and
There,
you don't want to
see,
hear the
there you
point
go.
that I'm going to make.
The point that
And
you're
yet you want
raising-
me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works. If I show you respect, give me the respect back. Ooh, I knew I was going to be surrounded by ignorance, but damn, let's go. Greetings. I am Amanda Seales, widely known as a comedian, an actress, a disruptor.
One more thing, too, before she gets into it. I posted something on Facebook the other day that said woke black women often dress like Cam Newton. And you can't tell me. Actually, I heard that from someone, and then I reposted it. It's not like my original thought or anything like that. It was a comedian that said that. But she dresses exactly like this is the exact type of chick I'm talking about. She got on the Starburst alien brain blazer with just the collar. Don't know what that's about. Mammary glands out. Shout out to MTR. I don't really know what type of swag this is. I call it the grandma Cam Newton. This is like the black version of like bangs with blue hair for me. Yeah. If you wear a blazer indoors during the summertime with funky colors, I can guess 92% of what you're about to say. 93% if it's a Sunday. Let's keep pushing.
An annoying person on the internet who always tells the truth. And I am now an artistic intellectual who commits myself to making art that educates. And today, I am surrounded by 20 black conservatives. My first claim is it is undeniable that reparations are just and necessary.
All right, reparations, fair, necessary. My question would be, who's going to get it? Why would they get it? And how long are we going to sit here focusing on trying to get reparations? It's been how many years since slavery? 150 years? 1865? Whenever there's a real thing that this country wants to do, they do it. Stop Asian hate. Okay, there's a problem with the Asian hate. Let's draft a bill, sign it, and it's done. Anything needs to be done is done. With us, It's a carrot they dangle in front of us that they don't really want to do. And it's not going to help. We need education. Oh, it's not going to help. No, it's not. We need education. Getting a check from the government is not going to do that.
Exactly.
And we need proper education. A lot of us go to these institutions where we're not really prepared, we're not really focused, and we don't get things that help us in the real world. So if you want to help Black people, a check from the government, from our tax dollars is going to get raised.
Exactly.
Is Black. We all American. We all got to pay taxes. It'll go to that. So I don't really see how this is going to help us at all.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's absolutely cooking. Shout out to Anthony. That's 100% facts. Money doesn't just fall out of the sky. The government prints money and it makes the taxpayers pay for the money that they printed. All right. So if every single Black person in America got reparations, first of all, there's going to be a lot of niggotry going on. Let's be honest. Let's keep it real. All right. The prices of Black and Milds finna go up. Hennessy finna skyrocket. You're going to have 46 new record label companies. They did a Dave Chappelle skit about this, actually, where it was like the richest man now became the richest man in America due to a dice game. You're going to have a lot of niggotry going on. The Black dollar is very powerful here in America, but unfortunately, we spend it. We spend it on hood nigga items. You know, not all of us, not every single Black person, but a lot of us do. There's a difference between rich, wealthy, and hood rich. You know what I'm saying? Hood rich, you go out and you buy liabilities, car, a chain, maybe a house for your mom, pit bulls. If you're Mike Tyson, a tiger. You buy shit just to have shit, but at the end of the day, you ain't gonna have shit. You get what I'm saying? So he's 100% right when it comes to education. If we just give a lot of uneducated people, it doesn't matter, Black, white, whatever, if you give a lot of uneducated people money, it's only a matter of time before they're going to be broke again. You look at people that win the lottery, Black, white, Asian, up, down, left, right, Namekian, doesn't matter. They're going to be broke again in like way under 2 years. Under 2 years, they're going to be broke again. Why? Because they don't know what to do with the money other than spend it. So again, if you're giving a lot of uneducated people money, they're going to turn into their true selves. And for the most part, when you're uneducated, it's probably not going to be a good thing. It's probably not going to be a good thing. I agree with Anthony 110%. And you're going to raise taxes for everyone else. So you're going to end up broker than you started off. And the United States doesn't even have the money to give reparations. We're already like, what, $36 trillion in debt. We're going to go more. Like, it doesn't, A, it's impossible. And B, it doesn't make sense. And C, you're going to make the people that you're trying to help even more broke after it's all said and done. So, yeah, I agree with him. Let's hear what Amanda has to say about this.
First, I'll start with, it will help on even just a moral level. The reality is that the United States has become very comfortable with the fact that it does not consider Black people equal. And it shows that in many ways that I'm sure we will discuss over the course of today. But ultimately, there has not been a committed, concerted effort to shifting the mindset around the use of Black people as a labor force in this nation back when it was slavery, now in the use of slavery as slave labor in prisons. So on a basic cultural level, reparations are an act of repair. They are an effort to say, our bad.
Hold on. Let's read this. Fact check. According to Oxford Dictionary, reparations means the making of amends for a wrong one has done by paying money to or otherwise helping those who have been wronged. Well, you could say that DEI was reparations then based off of this definition, because that was pretty much like, okay, what's your struggle? You struggled more than this person, you get the job. And that wasn't just by Black people that got hired for those things, but you could certainly make the case that disproportionately minorities, Blacks, Latinos, whatever, were hired more infrequent due to DEI. Now, I don't know the stats on that, but I'm saying if this right here is the definition, according to Oxford Dictionary, then you could definitely say that DEI was some sort of reparations. And now you could go into, has the amount of welfare increased in the Black community during that time? Did Section 8 go up as well? You could use that as an argument to say, well, we gave y'all reparations and look what y'all did with it. I'm not saying that's the argument that I'm making. I'm saying if I was someone who staunchly disagreed and maybe even hated Black people, then you could make that argument based off of this definition. Don't necessarily agree with that, but let's get into it. Also, too, before that, she did, like I said, she's going to make a moral, an emotional argument. she immediately started talking about morals. Now I understand we're going into the worlds of should and not the world of is. Should there have ever been slavery? No, there should not have. But there was, and there still is, and and there always is going to be. You're always going to have an underpinning workforce that is invisible to the rest of society. But if that underpinning workforce disappears, the society crumbles. And you can make the case right now that that's men, not just black men, black, white, Latino, whatever. Men are that invisible workforce, slaves, that are the ones putting in the work. She talked about slave labor. Most of the people in prison are men. Most of the people in prison are black men. And now you can attribute that to some of the points that I think she's going to bring up. But if we're talking simply like equality, again, how far down does this rabbit hole go? Well, I suffered more, so I'm more right. What does it mean? Let's get into it. These things don't ever make sense. It's a circular argument.
See you now. We have seen that done in the use of slavery as slave labor in prisons. So on a basic cultural level, reparations are an act of repair. They are an effort to say, our bad, we see you now. We have seen that done with Japanese folks who were put in internment camps. We have seen that done with Jewish folks. We have seen that done even in the case of slave owners who received reparations. When it comes to the use of tax dollars to pay reparations, and this is going to come up a lot today, it's a matter of values, right? For me, my value system circulates around the fact that I think that as a community, we should all be engaged in repair for our community. So I don't think there should be any problem with there being tax dollars spent at repairing consistent efforts that have been made to impede Black people. So the reparations you're talking about are not just related to slavery. There's reparations that have been discussed all over this nation in different communities as it relates to particular massacres, as it relates to redlining and the impediment of Black people to earn wealth by having property. There's been impediments in various ways that can be repaired. And I want to also just add, there's reparations that are considered a cash payment from a government. There's also the version of reparations that shows up in how funds are applicated to specific groups of people. So there's multiple ways in which what you're stating cannot happen could very well happen.
Okay, now, as far as the money going towards certain things is going to help us, let's look at Baltimore Public Schools. They get, I think, the third most money per pupil in the US of A, like $15,000 per student, but yet the majority of the population that comes from that environment can't read. They're illiterate. So we're dumping money on the situation, yes, but yet we're not getting the results we should get from it. Money's not going to help the thing. We need to just focus on what we need to focus on. As far as Black people being labor force of this country, what else are we doing? We got 25% of us on some kind of government assistance. One out of every 3 Black men will go to jail. We got to do something. We got to work with our hands, work with tools, do something, because we're not doing much of anything. And also, one more piece here. Reparations, again, always anchored in front of us, never going to happen. As long as you've been living, as long as I've been living, as long as everybody been living, they say we need it, and it never gets done. One more piece.
You just said one more piece, then you added another one.
I promise.
So hold on to it.
I'm going to land the plane. I'm going to land the plane, I promise. Reparations is a thing, like I said, it's a carrot that dangle in front of us. They're never really going to get it done. And if it was going to get done, it would have already been done. It's just something that they're using to try and make us stay Democrat. That's what I wanted to say.
Well, Democrats are not doing reparations either. This is nonpartisan. This is Black partisan, baby. Okay.
Well,
this is nonpartisan.
Who do we vote for? Who do we vote for 93% of the time?
Exactly.
There's no incentive.
To be quite honest, you're not talking to a Democrat. You're talking to a radical.
Okay, but
Let's land this plane very quickly.
Who do we vote for?
Let's land this plane quickly.
Who do we vote for?
You're talking to a radical, not a Democrat.
Okay, and you are your own person.
Let me tell you something now. I don't know what they told you, but if they told you that cutting me off is how it's going to get.
Okay, so here, now it starts to devolve into emotional arguments, personal attacks, ad hominem. I'm actually surprised that we got 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes in before it even got to this. I was expecting it to go into that a lot sooner. Note what happened now. She interrupted him first. Now, granted, he did say one more thing and then said one more thing again. She butted in, interrupted him, and now he interrupted her. And now she's saying, if you interrupting me is what you think is going to take to get clicks, let's stop it right now. But you threw the first punch. You interrupted first. All right, now note, this is how they argue. This is how they do it. Once they don't really have a good comeback for what you said, because you said something really good there. You said that, we are dumping money in a situation in Baltimore, right? But most of the people can't read that come from this environment. Why? Well, because Black culture doesn't promote that. It's not cool to be the smart Black kid. I'll take it a step further. It's so uncool to be the smart Black kid. If you're the smart Black kid, other Black kids tell you that you are acting white. Let me say that again. It's so uncool to be the smart Black kid that if you're the smart Black kid, other Black kids will tell you that you are acting white. Your intelligence is attributed to whiteness within your own community. It's not cool to be smart. It's cool to be thugged out, have a baby mama, bring a gun to school, smoke weed. That's what's cool. And if you don't do that, if you operate outside of that, then you're a lame, you're an Oreo, you're a bitch ass nigga. Like you're all of these uncool terms for doing the right thing. And then you end up in jail. And then you meet someone in jail who tells you, like, bro, you don't need to be in here, bro. You got your whole life ahead of you, da da da. And now because you've lived out that life, you've lived out that cycle. Now you go, damn, you're right. And then you start doing lame ass nigga shit that you should have been doing to begin with. So that way you don't end up in jail. But it's very interesting how these people argue. You know, they interrupt you, you interrupt them back. Now all of a sudden we have to have a long conversation about respect as opposed to actually getting to the points that have been brought up. Let go.
No.
Oh, no.
That's not how we're gonna. That's not how we're gonna enter.
We having a debate.
A debate does not require continuously cutting somebody off.
Okay, no problem.
Now, I do want to state this. You're stating things as it relates to how money is not fixing a problem without acknowledging the fact that the problem doesn't exist in a vacuum and that there are so many other factors that are determining how that money is getting spent to impede it from actually fixing a problem. You can put all the money into Baltimore public schools you want, but if you are also putting all this money into policing, into communities that are not getting resources, then you are also creating your own conundrum. The other part of this is that when you're saying they,
what? I want to try to wrap my brain around this. His claim was, we are putting money in the Baltimore school systems to help these people from disenfranchised areas become more educated and stuff like that, right? That was his original claim. And then she said, putting money in this situation doesn't help if you're not realizing how that money is being spent, by also saying something about policing. I feel like I missed something.
All this money into policing
wait.
spent to impede it from actually fixing a problem. You can put all the money into Baltimore public schools you want, but if you are also putting all this money into policing, into communities that are not getting resources, then you are also creating your own conundrum.
Well, how? I'm confused. How? We're putting money into the Baltimore school system, and we're also putting money into like the Baltimore policing system. And we're also putting money into Baltimore school system education systems. How is that creating its own conundrum? Walk me through the line of logic in that. It feels like she's just saying something to contradict what this guy said, but isn't backing it up at all. I didn't even see any words pop up on the side of the screen justifying what she said.
The other part of this is that when you're saying they, you know, the they is a broad context. And the last part of this that I will say is that you keep saying...
Right, again, she just said when you're saying they is a broad context and then just moved right on to the next point without any... It's very surface level with these people. It's just, here's what I have to say. Well, can you explain that? Andrew Wilson does a very good job of making these people prove their worldview, and you watch it fall apart in real time because it doesn't have any substance. I want him to push back. Could you elaborate? Could you explain what you mean by that? How does that go? How does that work? And how does that apply to the conversation that we're having right now? I would love for Anthony to go in on that.
Dangling this in our face. They're dangling in our face. Slavery lasted for 400 years. It hasn't even been 400 years since slavery. So should we be only fighting for a quarter of the time to get repair?
All right. I'm so sorry. You've been voted out by the majority.
All right.
Please return to your seat.
Okay.
God dang.
My name's Matt Nuclear.
Hello, Matt. Matt Nuclear?
Matt Nuclear, yes.
Matt Nuclear, give me a better handshake on that.
Matt or Mac Nuclear? That's a crazy name. Mac Nuclear? Hey, bro. you better come with some heat. With a last name like Nuclear, you better be dropping bombs in this conversation, big dog. Let's see what you got with your McDonald's yellow shirt on. Let's see.
Let's do it.
I appreciate having this conversation with a beautiful black woman like yourself. This is nice, beautiful arena here. I disagree that reparations are necessary. I think the most important thing that's necessary right now for the black community would be the stopping of violence, especially black on black violence. I don't see how reparations is going to solve anything. You can give everyone here like a $50,000, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violent crimes consistently, a $50,000 check. It's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%. For example, we had the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We prevented Chinese people from getting citizenship and even entering the country. We discriminated against them and basically put them under apartheid, even here in the United States. Yet they have the highest median household income. How is that possible?
Wait, hold on. That's a very good point, but let's read this as well. Congress passed the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, banning Chinese laborers from entering the U.S. at that time. Chinese workers came to America to send money back to their families, and they were willing to work for lower wages than Americans. I think the reason why this doesn't happen now with a lot of black people is because black people don't know their roots a lot of the time. A lot of black people don't know where in Africa they're even from. I'm one of these people. I kind of know, but I don't know exactly. You know what I'm saying? I know like the region, the country, which is Nigeria, but I don't know the exact like town, street, city. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I do know some literal African Americans that send money back to their families, whatever the case may be, and it's a different thing. But I think the biggest difference here is that when American black people get money, they spend it like how other Americans do on stupid shit, right? But back then, you know what I'm saying? You're getting paid in dollars. You're sending money back to the Chinese, whatever currency they use. Your family was a little bit better set up. But he's 100% right. Matt Nuclear did come and drop some bombs when he said you could give everyone a $50,000 check. It's not going to raise the household median in 10 years because all that money is going to be gone in 10 months because we're going to spend it on stupid stuff.
How come they don't complain and feel entitled consistently to beg for reparations and beg for this when they are killing each other 90% of the time, which is the rate that black people kill each other?
1 second. According to the FBI data, black murder victims were killed by another black person in 88% of cases. That is wild. Wild. According to the FBI data, most black murders, most black victims had black perpetrators. But you're talking about reparations. How can we look at you as important if you're trying to kill each other? Very good point, Matt. Very good point. I like what I'm hearing so far.
How's that possible? How come they don't complain and feel entitled consistently to beg for reparations and beg for this when they are killing each other 90% of the time, which is the rate that black people kill each other, according to the FBI?
Oh, young Matt.
Yet white people are the oppressors.
I'm not sure where your education came from, but they lied to you.
Stats don't lie, though.
Statistics lie all the time. So let's start there, particularly when the statistics are coming from the sources that gain from the statistics being shown a different way. So if you're going to start your argument on stats don't lie, you've already lost the argument. They lie all the time. One, comparing Chinese people who are immigrants that made a choice to come to the United States and comparing the continued effort of black people to ground themselves in a nation that continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is a false equivalency.
I don't believe that happens at all. No one here is in.
Are you acting right now? Do you really believe
I'm telling
this?
the truth. There's no systemic racism that I've experienced here in America. What system is racist? I think the only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been trying to segregate dormitories using black-only dormitories because black people feel safer amongst each other. But they're more likely to kill each other than white people are ever to kill them. That's just the truth. You have King Von rapping about killing other black men. Why should I think that the white man is the oppressor when black men are more likely to kill me?
Oh my God.
Very good point. I will say this, though. I do think that elements of systemic racism do exist, but I don't think that that's an excuse to not work hard. And that's my stance. Yes, there's going to be people that look at me and be like, oh, this is just another N-word that's trying to do whatever. We're not going to let him. Sure. A very, 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 very small amount of people do and move like that. And I've experienced that in my own life where I've been called the N-word and I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't go as far as to say that it doesn't exist. I don't think that would be I wouldn't be real if I said that, oh, yeah, that's 100%. I don't agree. I do think it exists. However, I don't think that's an excuse, right? And he's right. A lot of hip hop music is martial music. I heard what's that dude's name? Marquette. I believe he runs a channel called Saints and Sinners. He talks about how rap music is a very martial music about killing and murder and pillaging, and it's very like war music. But at the same time, you'll have people that support that music say that white people are the oppressors. And maybe you could say the case is like, well, black oppression comes at you like head on. Like, I'm going to grab a gun, walk down the street, and murder you. Whereas white oppression is, no, you can't live here. Or no, sorry, we're full. But then you look 2 weeks from now, and then it's a white couple that just moved in, and you're like, damn, I thought they was full. Maybe you could make the case for that, and that would be fair. That would be fair. But again, statistics don't lie. I'm more likely to get killed by someone who looks like me as opposed to a police officer. That's just what it is. And we can feel how we want to feel about it. But just to say like, oh, statistics lie, but then you don't bring any statistics of your own, or you do bring statistics of your own, and it's like, well, how do I know? It's just my word against yours. You believe what you believe, I believe what I believe. What do we know is true? So yeah, I've never agreed with that as an argument or as a debate strategy to say, well, statistics just lie. What you know isn't true. What I know is right. We're going to move on. Like, what? How is that helpful?
This is scary. You need to think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion. So let's check that now. Okay? So
that was a crazy thing to say. That's what I'm saying though, bro. Like the people that believe this, right? They always feel the need to be like in some level of authority. Like, you need to think of me as your mom. Don't talk to me as this fashion. But it's the truth though, mother. I'm gonna let them cook, man. But like, bruh, that's the truth. How are you gonna tell me how to debate? Like,
Black men, why should I think that the white man is the oppressor when black men are more likely to kill me?
oh my
Tell me.
God, this is scary. You need to think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion. So let's check that now. Okay? So on a basic level, we have to understand that systemic racism is grounded in the realities that Black people have not been considered an equal human being in this country since its onset. So there's simply no way to make the argument that there isn't systemic racism, and we have seen in very clear ways the system operate in an organically racist way. Do not cut me off. When we talk about systemic racism, we can start with even the fact that redlining, which was implemented to discriminate Black communities. Are you shaking your head that redlining doesn't exist?
No, I'm saying I don't think it really existed at all. I mean, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so redlining is the practice of denying mortgages to those who lived in neighborhoods considered risky lenders targeted Black and immigrant communities in urban areas. This practice was outlawed in 1968. Now, I don't know. I know that I play the game kind of unfairly when it comes to houses and stuff like that due to my job. It's all legal. Don't sue me. It's all legal. So I don't know. I don't know too much about redlining. It would make sense though. Like if I own a neighborhood and I know that Black people are more likely to kill other Black people, that's just what I know, and I believe that to be the facts, then I would want to have a certain, I would want to try to limit that from happening. I don't think that that's right. It says that it was outlawed in 1968, but if you know anything about the law, you know that if you know someone who knows someone, there's a waiver for everything, like we like to say. Right. But again, I'm not too educated on the history of redlining, so I don't want to dive down this rabbit hole, say something that's completely wrong. And then, later on in life, when this channel blows up, people are absolutely eating me alive. So I don't know too much about redlining.
So it does exist. And stating that it doesn't exist doesn't make it no longer exist. Redlining absolutely exists.
It is not the same thing with his statistics.
It is not something that's being made up. It's an empirical fact. And there are realities that exist because of redlining. We know that school systems are related to the way that property taxes are affecting the school systems. If a school system is not getting the same property value as the property taxes allow it, then it's not going to have the same efficacy at allowing for students to be able to get what they deserve. When we talk about systemic racism, we have to acknowledge that these private prisons are literally built based on the test scores of school students in third grade. So
no, that is true.
Literally building prisons.
That is true. I've heard about that.
Okay.
It's called the Pipeline to Prison Program. That is true. No, that is true. They were taking the reading scores of young Black boys in third grade And if they scored, they were looking at all of them and said, like, okay, if they score a certain amount, this is how many prisons we need to build, because it's inevitable that eventually they're going to drop out of school, commit a crime, and we already got a jail cell ready for them. That is true. I think the main reason why this happens, though, is because in the Black community, single motherhood is championed. You have women that will say, I'm the mother and the father, and they don't know how to raise a young boy. And then that young boy grows up to be a young man. That young man, if he lives, gets to be an adult with zero emotional control, zero emotional stability. He tries to punch his way out of in any situation, and that either ends him in the jailhouse or it ends him in the grave. But what she is saying is true. The pipeline to prison program, if you don't know anything about it, look it up. But the reasoning behind it goes into single motherhood, which is typically something that people like her believe is an okay thing. And I don't think that it is at all. And I don't think that Matt Nuclear believes that either.
If these people are not reaching a certain reading level, then we know that they're going to go down a prison industrial pipeline where we can use their free labor.
True.
And how is that not systemic? And if you want to
stop them from entering prisons,
how are you going to stop people from entering prisons if your goal is to get them into prison?
Sure, make them try to be more like Ben Carson than be like King Von. That's very, very simple.
So how does King Von happen?
King Von
reparations. Actually, no, let me land the plane. Yeah. We're talking about reparations, and what you're doing is actually just trying to get this conversation off the facts. And the fact is, reparations are just and necessary because on a basic level, Black people built this country, and the country continues to thrive off of the labor that Black people put into this country. And it would behoove you, young man, to really understand the way that your ancestors put blood, sweat, and tears into this nation that is still living off of those blood, sweat, and tears. And let me also add, there are reparations and there's remuneration.
Bruh, she's been talking this whole time. Once she kind of looks at him as like her son, and she's talking at him. She's not having a debate anymore. But now if somebody goes to talk at her, she's going to feel disrespected. She's asking him a question, and before he can answer, she's already giving her input. But if somebody does that to her, because it's going to happen, someone's going to do that to her, she's going to be irate and beside herself with anger. But he's right. We need to promote being like Ben Carson as opposed to being like King Von. And here's what really happens, what we're not even talking about here. What really happens is that you'll have Black women that will choose to sleep with and get pregnant by the King Von types, all right? You'll have Black women that'll choose this guy. Oh, he's a dreadhead, he's a thug, whatever. They get knocked up by that guy, have a baby by that guy, and now they try to get the Ben Carsons of the Black community to raise that kid up. And we're like, nah, bro, I'm straight. That's on you. And now that same King Von Jr. grows up to do King Von activities, not knowing how to read, ends up back in prison. And she's asking, why does King Von happen? Because, and this is going to sound bad, but because women have been reckless with their body, and it's championed now. That's why King Von happens. That's exactly why. And I want to hear someone talk about it. I want to hear someone talk about the single mother epidemic that is really the backbone and the nucleus that is plaguing the Black community. We have all of these single mothers. We have all of these single women raising boys to not be upstanding young men. Now, this isn't to say that I'm not saying not all. But in the vast majority of cases, if you come from a single parent household, you're not going to be good. And point out, when I say single parent, it's mainly single mother, because there has been studies and things like that shown that if a child comes from a single father household, they operate more closely to a two-parent household. Not to say that fathers are better parents, but it is to say that fathers give rules and boundaries, and they're less likely to break and waver on them. And when you're a kid, you need rules and boundaries to understand how the world works. All right? But the way that she's treating Matt it's getting on my nerves. Because how are you going to tell me I need to look at you as my mom? Absolutely not. You're not my mother. Don't put yourself in that position. You're just a woman who happens to be older than me. You're not going to talk about my mom like that. Let's have this debate and let's be respectful, but you're not my mother. No, absolutely not. And Matt came into it respectfully. But now she's just talking at him like, you're a little boy to her. Nah, man, you got to stand up for yourself. Interrupt her.
Do you know the difference?
Yes, but can I finish one point that I wanted to say?
Question.
See, like that? Nah, bro, that would have got on my nerves. No answer to the question. Anyways, like I was saying, nah, we'd have had to box. I'm just playing. It would have got on my nerves for real.
Ben Carson's cousins were killed at a very young.
I'm so sorry. You've been voted out by the.
Man.
I hope some of y'all are acting. I really do. We in LA, and I hope some people in here are acting. Oh, what's that on your chain?
This is a coin from Israel.
Lord have mercy.
Yes, you gotta go.
That's a choice that you are making for yourself.
Yes. The thing with the whole reparations thing, and I don't know, we're probably close to the same age, so maybe you can't call me.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
I am 44.
Oh, really? Oh, you look young.
Thank you. That's what water and keeping stress out of your life will do.
Really? Mm-hmm. Liberal positions are real stressful.
By the way, I wouldn't know. I'm not a liberal. Carry on.
Well, it's the liberal position because conservatives believe in hard work. We believe in going to work and working for what you got, not asking for handouts from people who never had slaves. Some of the people that you're asking for money from never had slaves. Okay. And let's talk about the fact there were also Black people.
Thank you. Slaves. I'm glad that they brought that up.
If you want to talk about that, how is that fair? If I'm a white person and my family...
There was approximately 3,700 free Black people who owned 12,000 slaves. There you go. According to what, though? I want to know what the source of that is, but there you go.
On the side of the Union. Why should I have to pay for slaves when this whole country was never all racist? Some of the founding fathers were abolitionists, and they hated slavery. And they actually put things in the Declaration of Independence and things too, because they believed that there'll be a future where there would be a Black president one day, or that there would be people in leadership that were Black. There was people in the North who helped with the Underground Railroad and fought with the Union.
Right.
So why is that fair for people who never had slaves, who fought against slavery, to have to pay for people that had slaves?
One, from my understanding, you are more interested in preserving the fairness of those who didn't have slaves than the fairness of those who are the descendants of slaves. That is priority to you than finding a fair way to accommodate those who have been the descendant of slaves.
Well, our ancestors wasn't asking for handouts. They were asking for equal opportunity. And we have equal opportunity in this country.
Exactly.
We had a Black president, just in case you didn't know.
Exactly.
We had a Black president and we had a Black vice president. I think she was Black. They said she was Black. I don't know. So we had a Black president, and you know who voted for that Black man? White people.
Exactly.
You can't win a popular election in this country without white people.
Exactly.
So Barack Obama is the product of white people. So let's get off this thing where, America is so racist. What's making America so racist is people that continue to talk about racism and continue to focus on racism instead of focusing on unity and bringing our country forward. People that have this liberal mindset are infecting our communities, Black people, and making us victims and not victors.
Exactly.
We refuse to embrace a victim mentality.
Yeah.
That's not what our grandparents those people fought for. They fought for equal opportunity.
Do not bring up Harriet Tubman's name in vain, baby. Please.
They said the Lord's name in vain. The Lord's name.
Harriet Tubman was literally saving her family and others from slavery.
Yeah. You know who helped her? White people.
You know who helped her?
They were on the Underground Railroad.
No. You know who helped her?
Come on in.
No, you know who helped her?
God and
people who benefit from white supremacy. One of the things
it's a lie. White supremacy is a lie.
No, sir, that's simply not true. If that were not the case, then we wouldn't see.
But wait a minute. How can you say that white supremacy is a thing? But I'm pretty sure if we ask her the right question, she'll still say that, like, Black people are God, or Black people were kings and this and that. Like, it's like, again, this is the same exact thing that happens with feminism. You're good when it benefits you and you're bad when it benefits you. Like, not all white people hate you. Not all Black people like you. But she just doesn't seem to believe that. We're going to let this first point play out. Then we're going to end the video because I want you guys to watch the video yourself.
The continued effort of colonialism and white people placing themselves in positions of power when they do not have the power.
Because their culture. Black culture is toxic.
Thank you.
The black culture is toxic. We have produced a culture that is toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no father.
Thank you. Yes. No. Bro, you need to go into that because he's 100% right, bro. He's 100% right. That community has has become a matriarchy, and that's why all these men today lack discipline. That's why they vote for the Democrats, because the Democrats lie to black people and say, we're going to do X, Y, and Z to help you. Then they get in office and they don't give a damn. Like, the Republicans don't give a damn either. At least they're more upfront. They're like, yeah, we ain't going to do that. Okay, cool. What they all keep people out the country? Great. We need that to happen. All right? He's 100% right. We need to talk about why there's no fathers in the home, because culture starts with society. Society starts with family. Family starts literally in the household. Why is there no black fathers in these black homes? Let's talk about that. They need to dive into that for real.
If y'all are just gonna sit here and make up shit, it's not
debate.
gonna work. No, a debate has to be in facts.
You're
you
putting
are
off
literally
emotional liberalism
I am
right
not
now.
Exactly.
Off unfounded lies
That's what y'all
based
do. Y'all
in
start saying
conservatism.
misinformation. Remember they
It
did the
is
misinformation thing all summer where everything
Look at this
conservative
man.
did. They said
You're carrying
misinformation.
a chain
He's
around
right.
your neck
He's
of
right.
an apartheid nation that
He's right.
actively wants to harm black people and
What about the
non-Jewish
apartheid?
people.
What
But
about
let
when-
me bring it
What
back.
about when
Let
black
me bring
people
it
were
back.
selling black people
Let me
in
bring
Africa?
it. That was not happening
put
in the
them in
context that
cages,
you're saying.
And they were selling
Let's
their own
bring it
people.
back.
Black people still sell
Okay.
their own people today too. By
I don't
the
know
way,
if I'm gonna last.
we're selling our own people.
I don't know if I'm gonna
You
last.
probably won't last with me.
I won't, because your ignorance is so
See, y'all,
overwhelming.
that's liberals. Y'all start name calling when y'all
No,
getting
it's
defeated.
not.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
won't have an argument because you keep cutting me off.
Oh, well, that's fine. If they don't let me come
You
back
won't
on,
even.
I made my
you won't.
point.
You didn't make your
I made
point.
my point.
You haven't
And
made
I'm
your
okay
point.
with being
And let me
voted
just
out.
tell you about your point. You started off saying we believe in hard work
Yes.
and we believe in being compensated.
Reparations is not though. Reparations is not hard work. It's stealing. It's Robin Hood.
You said you believe in hard work
Yes.
and you believe in being compensated for hard work.
Yes.
Were slaves compensated for their work?
No.
They weren't compensated for their work. But why should
That-
people who are sitting at home playing video games, smoking marijuana,
Are you sitting at
be
home
giving
playing a video game?
checks?
Are
But
you
no, the
sitting at
people that
home
they-
playing a video
The people
game?
that they're wanting
Am I
reparations
sitting at
for.
home playing a video game? No.
The people
And
that
I don't
want
know
reparations
I don't
for.
know who these people are that you're talking about, because
These people are the single black mothers that have 6 or 7 kids by 6 or 7 dudes, and all they do is sit around, smoke weed, lie, and forget to wash in between their legs. Those are the people that are sitting at home playing video games. Or the broke dude, or the 6 broke dudes that one woman let nut up inside of her. Those are the people in the black community that are just sitting around playing video games. Those are the people that he's talking about. Again, I really wish that they would have gotten more into the why is there a single mother epidemic in the black community, because I think that a lot of our problems stem from that. I think a lot of black people problems stem from the fact that, you don't have black fathers in the home and the children are a product of that. And then you have another kid who grows up without a black dad. I'll tell a personal story, then I'm gonna end the video, right? My dad had his first kid at 19. All right, now my granddad, God bless his soul, RIP, granddad Abraham. My dad's dad was not a great father to my dad, all right? My dad was a middle child, often forgotten about, blah, blah, blah. But my dad is a great dad to me. Always make sure I had everything that I needed and most of what I wanted. All right. Fantastic father. My dad always told me, Shelton, you guys know my first name now is Shelton. Do not have a kid until you are ready. Always told me that. Always told me that. From like a little kid, 5, 6, 7. I remember one time I was about 14. He showed me the papers that the money that he was paying a year for one of my sisters. It was like $84,000. It was something crazy. This was back in 2010, right? Almost $100,000, almost $90,000 she's paying. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of money. I've never even seen that many zeros on a page before. So I don't want to have a kid. Now, if I would have just had my mom in the house, maybe it would have been completely different. I would have been a weenie. But my dad told me and showed me, he's like, don't make the mistakes that I have made. Now I'm 30 years old without any kids because I'm like, no, I want to get this in place. I want to get that in place. I want to move this a little bit. I want to do that. There's things that I need to do before I have a kid. And I wouldn't have had that mindset if it wasn't for my excellent black father in the household. We need to get black fathers back in that household. That's the only way that we're going to fix the black community. Guys, I'm going to leave a link in the description for this full video here. Amanda Seales is an absolute goofball in her arguments. She likes to interrupt people, but I hate when she gets interrupted. This isn't something new. We've seen how these liberals debate. They claim that they're not liberal, but they do all of the liberal talking points. Whatever, all right? Walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, you're a duck, all right? Well, yeah, guys, that's all I have for the video. If you like the video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget the best way to help out the channel is like another one of the videos that you see popping up on the screen right now. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.